So, this is the non-anime DVD this week, Forrest Gump, for the upcoming DVD collection movie party. And now that we're done with that, let's get into this box and look around with these anime DVDs. Let's see. Got Well, this plastic's being a little bit more resilient than I'm used to. But, there we go. Let's see. I think we've got a couple pairs. Okay. So let's begin with these. We got a Kamisama Dolls from Sentai Filmworks. Oh. Complete collection. 13 episodes, 3 DVD set. Oh, and of course, an English audio, because this is both a Blu-ray and a DVD release. You know, because Sentai doesn't dub everything that comes through their network, unlike Funimation, who are obsessed with dubs. I'm not even quite sure what this is about. Lots of interesting looking anime. This almost reminds me of what's it called? I can't think. So the first two discs on the DVD versions are the same as the first two discs here. And so this third disc is different. Why can't I remember the name of that anime? I don't know. Next up, we've got Tiger and Bunny, Set 1. This one's from Viz, if I'm not mistaken. Viz. And Viz always dubs everything that goes through their hands as well, I believe. So, well, I guess English and Japanese stereo 2.0 audio. So this is one where, based on the name, I would almost assumed it was a shoujo or josei title, intended for a female audience, but it definitely doesn't look it. It stopped looking at it when I saw a picture of the anime itself on anime subreddits. So let's see. We got two things. And of course, Neon Alley, because that's the way they advertise. And then DVD versions, which have the same two-disc artwork, it looks like. Let's do that. Next up, let's do Letter B Collection 2. I didn't watch the first one, so I don't know much about it. Kind of reminds me of Shigofumi. It might just be the clothing style, or they could be kind of closely related in some way. Or it could be the fact that it's called Letter B. And then the final thing that arrived today was a Baka and Test Summon the Beast OVA Special Collection DVD Blu-ray Combo Pack. So, same thing case as the other thing. So it's kind of interesting how this one doesn't have Funimation's normal resizer. So even though... Well, actually, I guess I can't remember. No, it looks like Baka and Test Season 2 is DVD sized. So this one would be slightly out of place there. We've got two discs, the DVD and the Blu-ray versions. Funimation, stay connected. Alrighty. Now, that isn't all the anime I got. I also decided to import some Pokemon DVDs. That would be movie 1, 2, and 3. Basically, okay, let's begin. Movie 1, one thing I've always known is that the U.S. release has had certain scenes cut out, and even though there was some extras, I didn't know that they were all there. This has it all together in one nice movie, and I was under the impression it had Japanese with English subtitles, but technically it does not, because I knew it also probably had the dub. And turns out what it has is it has the Japanese dub, the English dub, and a bunch of subtitles for the English dub. And I guess that makes sense. It's a Japanese release, so it's if they want to follow the English dub. And you can tell because the translations are, well, full dictation of what they say in the English dub, and they clearly, the timing's wrong if you listen to the Japanese dub but activate any of the English dubs or subtitles. So this is still a net gain, because not only are the scenes back in there restored in the order they were supposed to be in, but it's also its original 16:9 format. And, you know, I kind of wanted to watch this first movie with those scenes intact. I was also kind of interested in Japanese with English subtitles, but it's not a total loss because I kind of wanted that better experience. Now, since I ordered that, since the second movie also had English dub or was similar, and because it would also probably be 16:9, it was cut down to 4:3 for the US DVD releases. I was kind of interested in just getting this one as well, since I enjoyed this was one of my potentially favorite movies, this one or the Manaphy one. And since I was at it, it sounded like the third one was the only other one they did like that, and from the fourth on, they didn't do that. But so I got the third one. They weren't too expensive actually, considering their Japanese imports. I think like $15 each almost, which I guess is kind of expensive for a Pokemon movie. But admittedly, the shipping was a bit high. But yeah, I still got them, and I poked around a bit. Enough to know that technically they don't have Japanese with English subtitles. They just have English subtitles for the English dub. So there's a slight difference. But, yeah, there we go. It's all of this week's anime. And since I still haven't bothered figuring out the problem with the video editor, we'll scoot this to the side, and it doesn't matter, because I didn't watch all that much this week, even though I had a 3-day weekend. But I guess I can begin by talking about the Garden of Cinders replacement DVD. And I did very briefly fire up, well, this. I did it alongside the Garden of Cinders DVD 1 that came with the DVD case, and I'm going to do the swap after this video. But, when I did it, I was going to watch them side by side, look for errors in the subtitles, and I realized the error was rather obvious if I just fired up the first DVD, and that's the first two things the characters say are, when you're at a theater, something, cell phones. And it's like, that's not their first lines, and that was fixed in here. So, there you go. Mystery solved. It was the first two lines of dialogue. Nothing complicated. Let's see. And that's why I didn't watch much. The one thing I did watch was I made sure I finished Listen to Me Girls, I Am Your Father. And I don't think I watched that before last week's updates, so that means it's new for y'all to talk to. And I was talking about how I wasn't quite sure if there would be a good motivation to watch it, and I guess the motivation would be kind of the resolve of the characters. It kind of ends on a note where you're like, I'm kind of glad I watched this to the end. You know, assuming it doesn't kind of turn you off or bug you from the get-go. If you're kind of watching it saying, this is okay, I'm not sure why I'm watching it, but yeah, you can get to the end and say, yeah, I think I appreciate the resolve of these characters and how hard they're willing to try in order to make this work. And I was actually pretty satisfied with the ending. And I can't remember if there was anything noteworthy about the OVA, other than it would just be an entertaining episode that probably took place somewhere during the content of the series, for reasons of which I will not explain in this video for potential spoilerific reasons. So I guess the question is why did I once again not watch much anime? Oh, I did rewatch Millennium Actress, and I think I appreciated how much it kind of played with my point of view this time rewatching it. So I appreciated it a bit more. If I were to say why I might not have cared as much about it when I first watched it, it's probably the same problem here, and that's the guy doing the interviewing rescuing our main character a little too much, it felt like. It kind of works out the way it works. It's just strange. But, other than that, I've just been... what have I been doing? I had company over, and I ate out with my family, and had company over, and ate out with my family, and fired up Team Fortress 2 Man vs. Machine a couple of times, and had company over. So, and then that means that the day I would have gotten watching done, I used that opportunity to help get a friend through all of, well, that would be Charles of DVD Collection subreddit, but I got him, well, I guess when I say I got him through, that means I was his primary motivation for continuing to watch it, insofar as we were both watching it together. So he got through all of the first season of Avatar: The Last Airbender. He's enjoyed it. He's enjoying it. I guess I also had a couple other friends who might have watched Avatar: The Last Airbender and really enjoyed it. So, so that's becoming a really big thing at the moment. And then I had company over again. Well, there you go. I guess that would be why I just didn't get much anime watching done. So I got a lot of company to come over, and we didn't watch much anime. It wasn't a complete waste, though. I mean, like, one of them, which was one of my brothers, we watched Young Frankenstein, and since I never watched the original Frankenstein, I wasn't aware of the classic scene where the monster throws the girl into the pond. And I'm only familiar with that because of Angry Video Game Nerd's top 10 movies that don't remind you of the scene from Frankenstein where the monster throws the girl in the water. And because I had seen that and watched Young Frankenstein, I'm really glad I caught a subtle nod to that scene from there. It was pretty amusing. But also kind of evidence of a shortage of proper culturing in that respect, I guess. I don't know. So, the good news, though, is that my company tonight has gotten far enough into Batman Arkham City, as in he's captured Riddler and done the main story, that he's going to take a break back to anime watching. Yay. For everybody else, I don't know. There is definitely a looming threat of Serial Experiments Lane or Neon Genesis Evangelion rewatch. And frankly, I think I'm really up for those. And by looming threat, I mean that a number of people have bought those recently. So, that's it. It's all crazy. Now for next week, okay, so obviously for this week, I had a little additional padding to my additions to the collection, which are DVD imports from Japan, which weren't initially planned, since some of these are kind of pricey releases anyways. But for next week, I remember it also looking kind of pricey, but there's also 2 Aniplex releases coming out at around that time. With any luck, those will probably ship soon and be here for next week's update, and that's why going to hold off on padding those, but the hiccups never hold off. So, with all that said, I guess that's the plan. Hope with again with any luck, we'll get both Aniplex releases for next week, unless I'm remembering the timing for them wrong, which is very possible. So, I guess we'll find out. Y'all have a nice week.